the other side of the pillow.
What's going on, guys? It's the Football Plug, back with the divisional round predictions. We started off last week with a pretty good record. We went 5-1. The only downfall was a self-inflicting wound by picking a hometown team. Again, falling into the trap of being a homer and why you shouldn't bet your own team, which for me is the Cowboys. But besides that, we crushed it, 5-1, won some good money. I did lose a little bit on Dallas, but we made it back up with the Rams as they dominated Arizona. They didn't go over like I wanted also, but we did hit the Rams pretty hard. This week has a ton of good games, 4 in total, but each game should be very, very good. Even the so-called blowout game, which everybody expects Green Bay to win, but for now, let's get right into the games. Cincinnati going into Tennessee. Man, what can you say about Joe Burrow right now, man? Him and Jamar Chase, they're really lighting that team on fire. Joe Mixon's playing good. They just got really good team chemistry right now, man. They look like they're just throwing it, just having a bunch of fun, man. I really think that team is coming to life. But in my opinion, I do think they do need one more year to actually put a few more pieces on defense and maybe up front on the both sides of the line for Cincinnati. But I do think Cincinnati will put up a bunch of points. Running the ball though might be tough against against Tennessee, as they were the second best rushing defense this year. But they can be passed on. So here I'm looking for a Tennessee cover with the over, in my opinion. I do think they'll put up enough points on both sides, but I think Tennessee, with the ground game, Derrick Henry back in order, I think they get up pretty big, and Cincinnati rallies to come back. Not enough to cover, but enough to push it over. Something like 30-20. Something along those lines. The over-under's 47.5 right now. Tennessee's given 3.5. I'm going to swallow the points with that one. Also, I do like the Burrow or over 280 passing yards at even money. That should be a pretty safe bet. Also, Henry over 80 yards rushing. I do think if he's back healthy, they're going to feed him heavy dosages of the ball, as they've shown over the last couple of years. When he's healthy, he's going to be involved. He's going to be in there, which makes Tannehill's life easier, makes the game easier for them to control. I do think Burrow's really good, man. I think that team is 1 year away. 1 year away from competing with, Casey and Buffalo. And let's not act like Tennessee is some scrub. They are the number 1 seed for a reason. They play well. They don't play flashy. They grind the ball out. They really take advantage of their strengths. So for me, it's going to be a Tennessee and over type of game. I think Cincinnati fans cry one more year, but man, their future is looking very, very well. Next up after that would be San Fran traveling up to Green Bay. We all know it's going to be cold. I think game time temperature is going to be around 12 degrees. Man, that's cold. I definitely wouldn't want to be outside playing in that, but, these guys are professionals. So, yeah, man. Green Bay's been doing their thing all year, obviously. Number 1 seed. Aaron Rodgers playing like he's got a chip on his shoulder, as usual. Him and Devontae looking good. A.J. Dillon. The other running back over there, I can't remember his name right now. It'll come to me. I just think A.J. Dillon is probably the better back there. I know the starter there was banged up for a lot of the time, but man, how do you beat Green Bay in Green Bay? They do seem to dominate up there. And yes, they have had some troubles closing out big games in the playoffs up there, but I don't think San Fran has the firepower, especially with Jimmy Garoppolo, to go toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers in this passing attack. Yes, Debo Samuels is playing like a stud this year for sure. This guy is averaging, I think, a little under a touchdown a game. He's running the ball. He's getting passes. He's heavily involved in this game. Um, Elijah Mitchell again looking really good for a in the rough gem type of player there. They really leaned on him this year. Also a I think Jimmy G did play okay last week, but when he was forced to make big plays, Dallas did take advantage of it. It just wasn't enough in the time allotted. Aaron Rodgers will not fold or falter like Dallas did, and I don't think Jimmy will be able to compete. So, San Fran's best attack here would be to kind of do what they do last week, is ball control and give these crazy looks with very great zone scheme blocking. Kyle Shanahan is wow. I mean, the guy is a real genius, man. He plays to his strengths, and he knows Jimmy G cannot throw this ball 30 to 40 times. I mean, once you get down, you are not. It's going to be tough getting back because you don't want Jimmy G to make these plays. He's a great game manager and maybe even a little bit better than a game manager. I just don't think he is a quarterback that can take over the game and come back from a huge deficit, which I believe Green Bay will put them into somewhat of a deficit early and often. Devontae Adams got 123 catches for 1,553 yards with 11 tutties. Like, these guys don't mess around. They're going out there. They know what they're doing. These guys have been playing together for a while. Devontae and Aaron, and they're looking for blood. And I think after this year, Aaron is out of Green Bay. So what better way to top it off other than to end it on a high note? I think Aaron is going to win this game heavily. I think he runs away with it. We cover the 5.5 probably with ease. The over-under's got me a little skeptical because I would like to pitch the over, but San Fran's defense is legit. Their front four is very good. Their back end struggles a bit, but man, they get pressure up front, and then once you are in passing down situations, they just pin their ears back and let them fly. Um, I think I think San Fran will score some points, but I don't think it will be enough to push it over. This is going to be a 28-10 type of game in my opinion. I think Green Bay does lay the wood, and I will be laying the 5.5 points for sure. Also in that game, with Debo being such a stud he's his anytime touchdown stats or odds are minus 105, so that's basically even money. And if San Fran is going to score the ball, it's probably going to be at least once with Debo, so that's a free bet to me. If you're betting on these apps these days, you can put that into a same game parlay or some sort of other parlay where you don't always have to bet just the team odds or over under. This is a very good alternative. Yeah, so that will lead us into Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock is game time. It's a little different start time, but I'm sure they wanted to start a little bit earlier to get both games into prime time. I mean, what do you say about Tom Brady, man? This guy's the GOAT. He is everything that you're gonna want in a quarterback. 45 years old, still going out there playing like he's a rookie, or I should say, agile like a rookie. This guy is, there's no having to explain what Tom Brady does, and I mean they are the favorite, as they probably should be, but man, I'll tell you, these guys did get beat by the Rams in the regular season, and Matt Stafford's playing great, and Cooper Kupp's out of his mind this year. We got a healthy Cam Akers. This should bolster that offense on top of an already dominant defense in all these stars that the Rams have, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Ramsey. We know that Tampa Bay has had some injuries recently, but I mean, who other than Tom to make these average guys step up and play good? And that's not to take away from Tampa's defense because they played well all year also. I think this will be a barn burner of a game. I really think, and I've always said that you don't bet against Alabama or Tom Brady in the playoffs, but I honestly this week I think the Rams can take this game. I do. I think that they could get in Tom Brady's face, as we know with the Giants. This is the one thing that can get him off his game. They have the defense, firepower, and the lights out shots on offense to keep the score going. I think it's going to be tough for Tom to regulate the game as he'd like, which not to say that he's not going to be in the game at all, but they will be. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think with both teams, there's enough firepower on each side, even with Tom Brady having injuries he does on offense. But I think this is the Rams' year, guys. I think this is the year the Rams get it, man. And if they don't have many more years before this window closes from all of the assets they've been mortgaging to get the team they do have. And with Tom Brady or Tampa Bay being a 2.5 point favorite with the over/under being 48, I do like a over in this game more than I like the actual number for the spread. I do like to see both teams probably score, even though they both have great defenses. I do think that they run up the score a little bit here, and I think this is going to be an upset with the Rams coming out on top. It's tough to say. It's really, man, that's a tough thing to even bet, honestly, because of how great Tom Brady is and who he's proven to be in the playoffs. But I do think with McVay and the team that the Rams have, I think this is the year they do it. One little tidbit for a prop bet there would be possibly Brady with over 2.5 touchdowns thrown. I think that he'll be playing from maybe down a little bit or where they would be needing to pass. But 3 touchdowns may be a lot, but if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be him. And it's going to give you plus 150 odds. So again, with these parlay for props and maybe same game parlays, this is a perfect thing to throw into one of your parlays you got that you want to gain back a little bit of odds here. And at plus 150, I think 3 touchdowns are easily manageable by the GOAT himself. This will lead us into the night game, which could probably be the highlight of the weekend. This is going to be a barn burner of all barn burners. This was last year's AFC Conference title. KC's playing at home, obviously, in the 16th man over there. Man, that stadium gets loud. We got an over-under of 54, so we're expecting a high-scoring game. I actually expect a little lower than that. I think both defenses come to play. We know Buffalo's defense is really legit, and KC's defense is playing better as of late. Actually, the running game of Buffalo's really been getting on late, too. So I think that's another thing to monitor to keep Pat off the field. We have both teams allowing under 100 yards rushing a game, but both teams also average over 100 rushing yards a game, so that should be interesting. Buffalo's on a 5-game winning streak from what I see here, and KC has beaten up on everybody they've played in the last 5 games except for a loss to Cincinnati by 3. Josh Allen's playing phenomenal ball right now. The kid's got that team fired up, and he's, a great quarterback, man. They're healthy. Singletary's running the ball and doing it. Stephon Diggs is doing exactly what he needs to be the number one. Josh Allen is doing exactly what he needs to be to put his team in a great position to win. And, kind of in my opinion, man, the winner of this team is your Super Bowl. Uh, it's going to be your Super Bowl team from the AFC. I think KC matches up a little less against Tennessee, and historically Tennessee has been good against KC, but I think if the Bills beat KC, then they will beat Tennessee and hopefully be in the Super Bowl. You know, God willing, Buffalo fans, right? That's the idea. But unfortunately, I do think KC has a little too much um, going for them. I think they got the better coach. I think Pat's I wouldn't say way better quarterback, but I think Pat's a better quarterback as of right now and maybe will always be. Josh Allen's great, but Pat just does a lot more. He does things that most quarterbacks can't do. And it's funny because I would say, 10 weeks ago, about that, middle of the season, we were talking about how bad he was and how the team was done and that the defense was shot. And lo and behold, when it came time to play, KC put up and Pat Mahomes put the team on his shoulders and did his thing. We have Tyreek Hill, well, not outstanding numbers this year, but he's definitely had some respectable at 111 catches and 1,240 yards and 9 tutties. It almost seems like a down year for him, which is scary. And Kelsey playing out of his mind and tough to stop. KC's lack of run game is a bit worrisome. But with a quarterback like Pat Mahomes, I mean, you almost don't even have to worry about it. He will put the game on his back when he needs to. For Buffalo fans, I think this may be a not as close game as you'd like it to be. It doesn't mean that you won't play great or be in the running, but I just think KC eventually gets out ahead and pulls away some. And I'm thinking about a 13-point game here, maybe, in my opinion, a 31-21 type of game. The over should hit in that scenario, but I would not be surprised to also see a low-scoring affair, especially in the first half, because those defenses will be booming. That crowd is going to be super loud, making a ton of noise. It's going to be tough for Buffalo to get going and do what they really want to do. But with that running game being rejuvenized in the last few games, I think Buffalo does absolutely have a huge chance of winning. And as I said, if they do win, I think they make it to the Super Bowl. I think that's what they do. I think they won't, though. And as confusing as that sounds, I think they could, but they won't. And coming from New York, I would love to see Buffalo win. I just don't see it this year against this team. I think Pat Mahomes is just that good, and I think Andy Reid will find ways to beat Josh Allen and the boys in blue. I also like a Singletary over in total yards at 85.5. That's a minus 115, so you'll pay a little bit, but I think that's definitely a safe bet there to put into one of your parlays or straight up. I would officially say we'd go KC and under on this one, but I could see a KC and over also. But my prediction would be KC and under. So yeah, and then that's the predictions of the game. But we all like to know, the best bets. And as I went 5-1 last week with my predictions, I was 1-1 with my best bets. So we're gonna try and do a little bit better this week on that. For my best bets, I'm going to go with the Packers. Seem like a best bet for sure, man. I think they win in a running, and I like the Titans. I think the Titans beat the Bengals, and I also like the Titans over there. I think the Titans and over will be maybe the best bet of the weekend. I think you can get away with splitting them, or if you wanted to, really risk it, you do a wheel with it. You take Tennessee over and then put them in a parlay. And me personally, I'll also be betting the Rams money line, as I think they do beat Tom Brady and the Bucks this week. Uh, Call me crazy, which I don't mind, but I think that's the way the ticket or the cookie crumbles this week, guys. And as always, if you guys disagree, agree, don't like it, please let me know. Shout me out. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on Twitter. Comment down below, like and subscribe, guys. Please, this is a new channel. I'm trying to get some followers and subscribers. Quality will get better. I'm going to be adding stats on the screen and pictures for you guys. But I was just very excited to get these videos out and start making some content just so I can get these thoughts down and show that these opinions and predictions are something you guys want to hear. As always, we'll be doing group breaks, card openings, more predictions, fantasy football. I mean, we just got a ton of stuff here. So pay attention. Please like, follow, and share. And I'll see you guys in the next one.